The 2000 football season was an important one at West Virginia University for a team faced with the challenge of regaining its edge and toughness. Committed to this challenge was a group of men who wanted to restore the pride of West Virginia football, the pride that set this program apart from the others. It was not easy, but this team found a way to come through. It found a way to surprise and come up with a big play. It found a way to answer even the greatest of doubts. Their efforts to restore the winning and pride paid off. The 2000 squad accomplished something that many Mountaineer football teams could not. Little did they know that they would be writing the final chapter of a golden era of West Virginia football.
They had beaten us the year before, and we didn't play particularly very well up there.
You know, of course, we felt like we really got stepped on in that game last year. We really felt like they kind of rubbed our nose in the dirt at the end of the season last year.
You know, they kind of rubbed it in a little bit with a couple of cheap shots here and there. We wanted to, get Boston College back. We wanted to pay them back big.
Listen up.
Listen up.
Listen up.
Hey, we've done so daggone much talking about this game. You got to understand, number one, this is a national televised game. This thing goes from coast to coast. Pride of our program. We're going to shock this whole damn nation, gang. We're going to shock it.
Dropping back, play action, wants to throw, looks, fires a deep ball, has a man, it's Ivy, and the pass is caught by Ivy at the 15, to the 10, he's knocked down at the 5-yard line.
Dedrick DeWalt fumbled the football, and West Virginia says they have it, they do!
Play action to Coburn, looking to go deep, fires a deep ball for Brown, and Brown leaps up, he makes the catch, he's to the 5!
And a touchdown for Coburn!
Dropping back to throw, looking downfield, firing, pass intercepted! Here comes Sean Hackett upfield, he's to the 20, the 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown, West Virginia!
It was a great coming out party, We came out there, we played with a lot of emotion, a lot of heart. We played with a lot of intensity. I like that.
Hey, this is a special one for that ragtag defense.
And we had just a minute or two to catch our breath and say, uh-oh, Maryland's coming in next.
Hey guys, this victory's huge, and we got an off week to enjoy it, but it ain't gonna mean nothing if we don't get our mindset for Maryland.
So let me break down some of the components. So my wife is an occupational therapist. And my wife has been even more of an inspiration than my mama, because my mom wasn't in the health field. My mom just bought into the lifestyle, but she was in the arts. My wife has been taking care of stroke patients since she was 8. This is what my wife does. And when my life was on the line, my wife and my son and my daughter, they both are following in their mother's footsteps in physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, all of that. So what y'all need to know is, in the global wellness economy, so those who can help people emotionally make the transition, who have been caught up in drug trafficking, there is a $652 billion industry for helping people become well. So these are all These are all hundreds of billions of dollars of people who have been injured, and to treat them and make them well, this is what my family does. We just been doing it all separately. But when we put together a league, football, basketball, I'm not going to name all of the other joints because we're not trying to have no competitors down here, but we got lined up in these cities sports and competitions that nobody is even in these things, but our people is doing them all on the regular in the hood. We just gonna make them pro level like they did with the X Games. This was my mom's dream and vision from the door. They take all of the sports that the little suburban kids like to do, and they make a Olympic game, professional Olympic, and get sponsored. And they pay them BMX, skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing, but no. Yep, it's already too late. We've done. It's done. We got the cities, we got the teams, we got everything. All we need is our people to sit as the owners of the team in your area to manage the team. And just like with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it doesn't change hands. That's your team. Just like the Eagles, just like the Dallas Cowboys. All we're doing is taking our family members and we're saying, okay, y'all have the Eagles, y'all have the Bills, y'all have the, and we're putting a team of individuals who also want to invest in their kids to play and their brothers and sisters to play, and our brothers and sisters around the country that we've already played with, our team members, they're going to sit as the investors and the co-owners. It's an ownership team that will own these teams. And we get started in the fall. We're going to have our combine. Just like we do, we're going to spend some time recruiting. You know how American Idol goes around. They hold a big old venue. All the people who want to come and audition, we're doing the same thing. We're going to go around. We're going to put out on social media where we're going. We're looking to see the people who do that particular skill set that day or those days. We're going to watch and we're going to say, okay, yeah, the individuals who run the team in that area, they're going to be like, we want them. Boom. Go to the next city, do the same thing. Put the schedule out. Okay, y'all need to start training. Regular season starts this date in September, October, whatever. Come up with the schedule. Get the referees, get everything. Boom.
And they fake the handoff.
Let's have our silent prayer. Let's go, gang. Go. You know what it's going to take. Told you all Monday you had your choice. Get out or bleed. Get out or bleed. So there better be some bleeding, because if there's not, I'll get you out.
Yeah.
All right, we back again. My own stomping ground. For all of y'all online, I've been telling y'all that we first responders, meaning we react to any type of disaster, man-made disasters, and the disaster that we respond to in this neighborhood on the west side of Orlando is definitely the man-made disaster of poverty, the man-made disaster of crime, the man-made disaster of the war on drugs, the man-made disaster of the prison, the school-to-prison pipeline, the dropout factory. These are all man-made disasters that were created in the neighborhood all across the country. So y'all know our history. Come here, man. Come in. Y'all know our history. Y'all know where we from. Y'all know we from Trenton, New Jersey, and from Chicago, Illinois. My wife's home stomping ground. We lived both of those places. We also live Huntsville, Alabama. Y'all know these is all our stomping grounds. But then when we moved to Orlando, Florida, Orlando is divided by I-4. So all of the good posse neighborhoods is on the east side. And then on the west side of Orlando, that's where we are. That's where our people are. That's the inner city. That's the hood. Wherever you see I-4 and then you see the new arena, everything behind the new arena, the Amway Arena that the Orlando Magic play in, everything behind that is hood. So that's where we at. I'm going to show y'all where we used to live. Come here, let me show you where you used to live, man.
This is really hard.
So when my first two oldest was born, we started doing work in Chicago, Illinois. And every time when we did some mentoring type programs, my two oldest was always in all of the programs. So we get here to Orlando, Florida, and same thing. Xavier hooping. My nephew DJ, he was hooping in our little summer camp. But this is where it all started. We started the summer camp when we was living here in this little apartment on the west side of Orlando, Pine Hills. Now, why this is important is because right now in Pine Hills, they killing each other daily. Last week on the news, I saw a report like three murders happened last week Sunday in the Pine Hills community. Like, it reminds me of what I hear coming out of Chicago a lot, what I'm starting to hear coming out of this community. And this happened to be the community that we moved into, right? The reason I'm showing y'all this is because we're about to go to a middle school, Meadowbrook Middle School, which is in the heart of that community. Alright? So our little kids, our little babies in middle school, trapped in a killing zone. We was doing work in Meadowbrook Middle School some years ago, but now we headed back there. Because now our great mentor, Pastor James Doggett, he's in town. He's at Patmos Chapel. And Patmos is adopting this middle school, adopting this neighborhood, Pine Hills. We've been working in the community, and so now we're going to collaborate with Pastor Doggett.
After 2 games, it was right where they needed to be. The Mountaineer defense had not allowed Boston College or Maryland to rush for 100 yards, and that trend continued against nationally rated Miami in Game 3.
I thought maybe the Miami game was as good a game as our defense played.
Miami's ground attack was held in check.
They got 6 games that they work on. They built it from scratch. Wow. And guys, can you all pull up your apps from MIT and show them what you guys are doing?
Yes, this is an MIT app.
Yeah, it's called MIT App Center. And they can make apps for the Android phone.
Now, you know that's big money.
I know.
I don't know if they know that.
I know. And so what we do, so with the biology topics, I'll tell them, okay, we're studying that you study intelligence system. Now you got to write an app on the intelligence system. So guys, pull up some of your apps and show him what you've been doing.
Okay. I want to see who's proud of their app so far. I am very proud of my app. Y'all know these people who make Snapchat and all of that. Y'all know they ain't never working and getting their life, right? This where's Hey, children around the country don't even have access to this type of stuff. I've been all over the country, I promise. I've never seen children learn how to. I'll put it like this. I went to Full Sail University. Anybody familiar with Full Sail down the street? So Full Sail, they teach college students how to do this. But usually people have to wait till they get to college, and then you have to go to a school like Full Sail who specializes in this before you even have a clue of really how to do it properly. And you, what? 9th, 10th? 9th and 10th grade.
Let him know what video.
You got a head start. You ahead of you.
Tell him.
You did what?
Adobe Premiere. So I got Adobe Premiere on all these computers, and they've learned how to make little movies and stuff with that.
Touchdown, West Virginia! Brad Lewis! The West Virginia University Mountaineers avoid a huge upset, and they rally from a 9-0 halftime deficit to defeat the Vandals of Idaho.
All right, so we here in Atlanta, Georgia. Let y'all see some of the background and scenery. We here in Atlanta, Georgia. Sitting down, having a nice bite to eat. But I wanted to have a conversation. This morning we stopped by and we saw Uncle Edwin at that little community center. This is your first time seeing him, but of course we was all together when you was just born in Huntsville, Alabama. And so I want to talk to you about some of the work that we've been putting in over the past 3 or 4 weeks. From what you saw at Patmos with Pastor Doggett, and then we went to the little middle school, and from what you saw us sitting down with the business plan and going over to Mount Sinai, your old school, where we had the summer camp, and then seeing the computer lab. I just want to get into all of those things and just get your feedback from the standpoint of somebody who went through all of those programs from his age. Your very first experience with alienation. You remember receiving your alienation name. You remember I called this one Divine Shadow. Do you remember where we were and where that came up at? The Divine Shadow. We had a concert at UAH. We had a concert at UAH in Huntsville, and that was when you was giving your alienation name. So we've been doing this since 95, 96. The whole Break the Cycle movement. Then we go to Chicago and you hook up with DJ and all of the kids in the Good Samaritans, Elijah. You know, I just want to talk about the whole process and hooping with Danka and all of them in the community center, and just seeing the whole program. And then coming back now you're 18, 19, about to be 20, sitting in the same position that I was in at your age. I just want to get your perspective of what you see is going on, and talk a little bit about our event that we have planned the weekend of July 8th, to pass along to families in the community and young people in the community the business plan and the mentoring and the entrepreneurial development and the life skills development empowerment network that we putting together. All right, so first let's start with Mount Sinai. Let's start with Mount Sinai. What did you think about your experience being at Mount Sinai as a student, and then us running the community program there that you and DJ was hooping with, and the lifeguard swimming thing that y'all went through that summer. What do you think about that?
The next 2 games loomed large. A Big East encounter with Temple at historic Franklin Field was up first. Temple brought everything it had. The Owls led at the half. Someone needed to step up and make a play for the Mountaineers. That man was senior receiver Corey Ivy.
Deep down the sideline for Ivy, makes the catch at the 40, gets by the defender. He's at the Temple 30, the 25, cuts back across the field. He's at the 15, cuts back to the left again, to the 10, to the 5, inside the 5. He rolls out to his right. They're after him. Lewis now fires into the end zone for Ivy. He makes the catch. Touchdown, West Virginia. A magnificent play. Floats the ball out for looking for Ivy. Ivy makes the catch over the 40-yard line. He is brought down at the 45.
It wasn't pretty, but the Mountaineers left Philadelphia with a win.
I don't know. It was. I mean, I've always just saw it as like, you know, something to do because I've always been a part of this. So like, it never seemed like something new to me. But every time we did it somewhere else, like we were in Chicago and I was just playing with DJ and, you know, all my cousins, and it was just fun for me. But then coming down to Florida and seeing the community kids, you know, get to come to the gym and just go wild and be free and have fun in the gym, and then we break and we teach them how to swim and how to be lifeguards. To me, it was just, you know, being a kid, you know, having fun, rolling around with the troop. But to all of them, it was like, it was something to do, you know. It gave them a purpose, you know, something to look forward to outside of just being at the house or being, you know, on the corner somewhere or walking down the street, you know, walking the block for no reason. Like, we gave them an outlet where they could just go and be a normal kid. Like, they didn't have to think about where they came from or who their parents was, whether their dad was or wasn't at home, whether their mom was struggling, you know, keep the lights on or whatnot. So I think the stuff that we did was really major in the fact that it was so simple, but it meant so much to them at the time.
All right.
You know, us doing stuff like that every summer, you know, linking up with community centers and all that, going to middle schools and just showing the kids that, you know, it's okay to have fun and like there are ways to entertain yourself and get through the day without having to, you know, tap into that stereotype that, oh yeah, you know, such and such children only spend time on the corner or by 16, 17 people are already selling dope, and I was like, forget all that, just go have fun, get in the gym, pick up a ball, throw a ball around, shoot some hoops, you know what I'm saying? We even introduced them to, you know, laptops and stuff like that. And I remember back then, you know, Mount Sinai hadn't hit the whole MacBook Pro era yet. So we were still on the rinky-dink big block computers, you know. But to go there now and to see that, you know, they have teachers who are investing in them with the robotics program and the school is updating their systems, you know, to put their kids in a position to where they can benefit themselves in the future. So outside of just school, you know, they're giving them something that is interesting to them that might push them toward a career one day.
All right, it's good you said that. We're going to transition to your sister.
I'll take it, baby. I'll take it. Focus Sons of V-Tech, baby. Thursday night, prime time.
After 5 games, West Virginia stood at 4-1, and legendary coach Don Nehlen was just 1 victory away from the famed 200-win plateau.
Nice slide in the ball and a pass to Lee's guy, Wes Hours. Let him go. And for the first time this year, Virginia Tech trails.
He drops back to throw, firing over the middle. Pass is hauled in. Watch out. Here comes the tight end. On the move. It is Slokowski. He's to the 15, 10, 5, end zone.
The alienation name I gave this one is Predestiny's Beauty. Predestiny's Beauty. It's a text in the word that says, those who he predestined, he calls. Those he calls, he also justifies. And those he justifies, he sanctifies. But from the standpoint of Predestiny's Beauty, you got to go to the robotics surgery thing, and you got to participate in that part of the program. Talk about, from the standpoint of you being one of the only middle school people there, and what was your experience at the robotics, and just tell them what the robotics fair that I'm talking about was, what it was like, and what you saw there at the robotics fair.
At the fair,
speak up.
I'll call it a fair. It was fun because I actually got to do open heart surgery on. It wasn't a patient. It was just I got to do open heart surgery, and being one of the youngest people there, it not infected me, but it affected me in a way because all of the other kids, they were older and they're usually getting more opportunities than younger people. And for me to get to go, it was just really fun and a good opportunity for me to learn about open heart surgery and robotics.
He's in trouble. Looks like a broken play. Lewis going to keep it. He's on the run to the 10, to the 5. End zone. Touchdown. Brad Lewis took it in himself. To the end zone. Ivy. Touchdown.
And you got to go to that program too before you went to Pine Forge, correct?
Right.
All right. So what did you see there, and what was happening at that program?
Well, it was me and my younger sister Deja, who isn't here right now. But when we went, they had the machines where you were practicing open heart surgery and different surgeries, but it was on the monitor so that you could get used to what it was like without actually being in there. So you would have kind of like pre-gaming for an actual surgeon.
So it was like simulation, right?
Yeah,
so you went to the simulation lab first.
We went to the simulation lab and they let us go in, and they first they were explaining that most people don't usually get to do this because the robotics technology was just now coming out. So there were some surgeons who hadn't even had the opportunity to test it out. So we were just we were introduced to it as the future of surgeries and things like that, trying to make surgeries more precise, be less invasive, so scar tissue wouldn't be left so visual, and so the body wouldn't be so messed up afterwards. It was also enlightening because it meant that just like the future of surgery was changing, the future of surgeons was changing, because if you can learn how to master the technology now as a teenager, then when it comes time for you to go to school for these things, you kind of are ahead of the game. And that's what they were explaining to us. They were getting us interested in it while we were young so that we would be more motivated to finish the schooling to go on to do these things later on in life.
And did you realize the schools that were around you? It was Jones High School, Evans High School.
They were local high schools with predominantly black students, kids who quote unquote aren't really expected to go do things, those who are usually fed into the prison, the
school to prison pipeline, correct.
Those who are expected to drop out after high school and not do anything with.
And that was the same thing when you went too, right? It was the same type of students there, correct? And who gave you this access to all of this? The fair. Who put the fair together? Who made it possible?
The hospital did.
Actually, this is where I'll give credit. The Mount Sinai Educational Complex partnered with an individual that works with the Celebration Hospital. All right, and Mr. Pete Carnegie. And Mr. Pete Carnegie, who attends Mount Sinai and works with the Mount Sinai Educational Complex, and who provided that computer lab that you guys saw.
Yeah.
All right. So he provided a computer lab through Community United Outreach, which is a nonprofit organization that I work with here in Orlando community, and with Mount Sinai Educational Complex, to give access to individuals who normally wouldn't have that type of access. So from that standpoint, you guys are preparing this generation. All right. So what's going to happen on July the 8th, we're basically passing the reins. When I say we, I'm talking about your mother and I. All of this was basically a wish that your mother had. Your mother had a wish and a dream and a vision of how we would raise productive individuals in society, in our family, and produce a family that would contribute. So now we passing that legacy on to our oldest, who then we're going to give all of the tools and resources that we've developed over this 21 years. We're going to pass it to you and allow you and give you the jump start to do.
To ground wide open as ours. He makes the catch to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, West Virginia.
We snuck that play in for Wes, and we told the team this is going to score a touchdown. Wes knew it was going to score, and lo and behold, it did. And so when we scored that first one, now the kid said, hey, gang, we really got it.
Fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, has some time, fires a deep ball wide open as Antonio Brown, and he makes the catch, and he's down at the 12-yard line of Ole Miss.
Everything went right for us. Everything we did worked. And it was just one of those days.
Lewis takes the snap, wants to throw. Pressure comes. He fires. The ball is caught by Ivy for a touchdown.